So there was a bit of daylight. There were 3 shots separating Nasser. And now it's a bit less. Now there's a good friend of yours, So-yeon. Ali, there's Minjee Lee warming up.
Yeah, Minjee Lee is another best ball striker on tour for sure.
Ewan's down there on the range, and Ewan, this is a great view that you've got, and it's interesting to see how players warm up in different ways.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think it's actually more entertaining to watch today and yesterday as well, given the conditions, because as we know, these breezy conditions out here, they're certainly going to sort the best ball strikers out from the rest, and of course we know Minjee Lee is in that upper echelon, that category of the best ball strikers in the world. And I know Ali and I were down here about 10:30, 11 a.m. local time, and we were seeing a lot of balls get floating up in the breeze and not having the control that you need, and that's not really an issue for Minjee Lee.
Ewan, what do you like about Minjee's swing?
Oh, it's a good question, and I think it's more what I don't like. There's nothing that I don't like. I mean, she loads into a right side.
Find, isn't it, right now? And you really do want control with the second shot to get to where the flag is. Control from tee to green, not usually an issue for Minjee Lee.
Minjee also aimed quite far to the right. She's going to use a right to left wind to get to the middle of the fairway.
That's a good line on that. And that's perfect from Minjee. And so many lovely villas and condos that line the fairways here at Jian Lake. Certainly worth a visit.
This to kick off in style, Minjee Lee. That was actually a good putt, right towards the second half of it. You're going to think it will fall towards the back right edge, left of our screen. Just didn't move.
For sure. In that case, Minjee gonna follow that as well.
Yeah, the only problem is that they actually won't know that that has stopped.
Very
For Caddie,
true.
you know, she won't be able to see it here, but I mean, few in the world, if any, hit their irons better than Minjee.
Even better. Both of them birdie chances.
I think they're going to like it when they get up and over that hill. Tennis professional. As, we go from someone from Queensland to someone from West Australia. It's not to be for Minjee Lee.
Minjee is one of the best ball striker I've ever seen for sure. I still cannot forget when was live. She has a really good attitude on the golf course.
Hearing this is for par for Minjee Lee. So to stay at 2 under, something's gone awry on the way to here. Steps it in anyway. So 3 pars to start. Same 2 for Gabby Lopez.
You have so many scenarios in your head.
Well, where Minjee and Minwoo hail from, over in Western Australia, is Royal Fremantle, which is right up on a hill, and it's windy, you know, day in, day out up there. Notorious wind.
So Minjee knows how to play with the wind.
Yeah, and look at that. The flag stops. A few moments ago, it was straight downwind. I think she just needed that little bit more help to cover that ridge that bites into the left side of the green.
That's another thing, like when you know wind swelling, even though at
This afternoon, because what a round that was from Nasser.
It boggled the mind, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was genuinely unbelievable. I didn't see that when I drove the course earlier today, because she did most of that in the toughest conditions that we've seen so far on Friday.
A solid start from
That front left section, that is key. Otherwise, you're staring into the face of a bogey. Minjee with driver.
okay. Comfortably cover the bunker entry. Hit it long for sure.
Yeah, it's got a lot busier in the gyms. As I just say, a lot more physios, performance coaches that join these players on tour.
One of the reasons why a player does a lot of box jump is to have have an ability to learn how to use a ground force. You better to use a ground force to hit, have a maximum power to hit it long. So that's the reason why player does a lot of box jumps nowadays.
Yeah, it's interesting. Gabby, a big fan of that. Now, Minjee has always kept herself in shape as well as her golf game. This to get to 3 under.
Does misjudge the speed for sure at this time.
Yeah, the long putter.
Still not suited to my eyes.
Now, yeah, she said she was, adapted to it really quite quickly. Shot 19 under through 4 rounds. She knows what she's capable of.
That's why it's so tough to play tournament as defending champion.
Minjee to stay at 2 under. It's a 2-putt and it's a par for the Australian, who's one of the very few players on the LPGA Tour to win twice before the age of 20. So his success came to Minjee at a young age.
It's remarkable. Minjee Lee's birdie putt. Good speed control.
Have you tried the long putter, So-yeon?
I never.
Their own talent, but also those abroad. You know, a lot of players with Korean heritage, the likes of Minjee has been scooped up by South Korean sponsors too.
For sure, having a sponsorship is a huge relief to all the players, not to worry about the financial stuff, be able to just focus on golf, which is really hard to just focus on golf if somebody doesn't have a sponsorship.
Now, this length of putt is why Minjee Lee has decided to go with the long putter. It's certainly helped her with her alignment over the short putters. She feels a lot more confident with this club, new in 2025.
Also, Let Me Know change it to long putter, and then she has won this year.
Yeah, will it catch on? I think I've got a bit excited about the Takabin being a train when I have learned it is in fact a bus that transports the golf clubs to the next golf venue. You speak Japanese, Ali. Thank goodness you're here.
Broken. It's very broken. I'm not sure it was ever whole, my Japanese.
Well, you see, you know what Takabin means, that's for sure. Yeah. Come on, release down for Minjee.
That's a really good shot.
The Women's World Championship, win number 3. And makes the game look very easy indeed.
Yeah, win number 23, wasn't it? And another country to the list. The many places she's picked up trophies around the world.
How can you and Lydia be so nice and be so good at golf? So-yeon, you in the commentary box.
Thank you for
week.
including me. Just Lydia, and just in general, she's really good person. She cares about golf. She cares about people. She always wants to do something to make.
So for the likes of she and Cassie, you can actually get a decent recharge aside from the wind battering you once you get out to the golf course itself. But a little bit more time around it to rest, maybe, than most weeks.
It's definitely different than other weeks. That other weeks we have to spend so much time on the road, but this week you definitely can save a lot of energy because you don't have to be.
So much of everything's taken care of. Players can go and eat in all the restaurants inside the Western too.
Minjee Lee for par.
No trouble. So all 3 will write down a 3 at the 7th.
Especially with the helping one.
Back on the tee. Now there's Minjee Lee, and have any of you watched on the latest episodes of Full Swing. The next series has Minjee and Minwoo Lee. And
Make sure not to use a wrist too much.
not to wiggle, especially when you get a bit nervous down the stretch. And it's worked for Lydia Ko in Inbee Park. Now Minjee.
It was tough condition. Ball was way below the fed, rough, winds coming behind. It was tough chip for Minjee.
It's on the yardage book, and Gabby Lopez having a good look at her putt as well as Minjee Lee.
For sure, it's something related to positive energy.
It's interesting how people put, you know, little inspirational quotes, things like that in their yardage books. I remember when Nelly Corder won for the first time in Chinese Taipei. She wrote back saying, you know, if it's your time, it's your time. She wrote that before she teed off in the final round, and she kept going back in the book.
There's a new wand in the bag of two-time major champion Minjee Lee, and here it is. We've got the long putter going on this season. Minjee, tell us why you decided to change.
Yeah, I mean, I was struggling a little bit with my putting the last probably couple years, more just the shorter ones, to be specific, but I think it's just a little bit of a new adventure.
Yeah.
You know, it's been nice. The first, I played, what, 3 or 4 events now, and yeah, it's working quite nicely for me, so yeah.
Good stuff. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at your setup, because you started at the beginning of the season and you had a lovely 62 at the
Yes.
Tournament of Champions. And by using the long putter, Yelimi No has used it this year. She's a winner on tour. You know, how does it help with your stroke? What's it particularly helped with?
I think just keeping the hands out of it. You know, I'm really just rocking my shoulders, and you can't actually move too much with your hands, to be
Okay.
specific. So
Have another setup. So was it strange at first? Because it's a completely different grip, isn't it?
It
You know,
was-
from the conventional way.
actually, to be honest, it wasn't really that weird. Like,
Okay.
in the beginning, it was just getting over the hurdle of, you know, I'm gonna try the long putter, but after that, it was really it felt quite good and quite natural. It wasn't too weird or anything.
Okay. And has it helped you maybe take it back straighter, or were you taking it back a bit too much on the inside, or what specifically with your stroke, or has it
Not-
helped with?
Not anything like that, because
Okay.
it is, I guess, the way the putter is shaped with the square to square, it is a bit more of a straight back, straight forward biased head. So
Okay.
it has helped me with that, but I think because of the weight of the putter, it does tend to go a little bit inside for the longer putts, but I think for the short ones, like, you just have to be aware of it and not take it inside, just like any putter.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's just pretty much the same fundamentals as you know, trying to keep your stroke good, or, you know, keeping your stroke straight. So, yeah.
And the most important question, do you feel nice and confident over it? Because putting is so much about confidence.
I definitely feel much better over the shorter putts than I used to feel. So, yeah, I guess it's doing its job. So we'll see how we go for the rest of the season.
Brilliant. Well, a defending champion here in Blue Bay, and let's hope this wand continues to work its magic this week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Oh, wouldn't this be handy if it went in? Good try from Minjee. That was for birdie. And we recorded that a couple of days ago during the Pro-Am, because it has caught a bit of it's garnered a bit of attention with Minjee going with the long stick.
Here's a really good illustration. Yeah, straight over the short left bunker. All the wood in the face from Minjee.
Oh, God.
Well, it wasn't quite that bad, but
Thanks, Vicky.
I'd agree. Light does look okay. Seems to be sitting up for Minjee. Down the right of 9. Lie almost exploded on her. I'd be surprised if this isn't short.
Even when players hitting from the rough, because it's such a strong into wing, they are able to create a lot of spin. So this is the hard thing about
So you can see with Minjee Lee using the long putter, it's not anchored. Some of you who are watching at home might be saying, I thought the long putter was banned. It's only banned if it's actually, you know, attached to part of your body, and you're not physically attached. That would be interesting, but it's not anchored to your body, whereas you wouldn't go and ask her either. So 3 birdies and a triple for Mi-Hyang Lee.
Good putt for Minjee at the hole 9.
She too with 9 in a row, like Rio Takeda today. Get a really good view of the swing of Minjee Lee. She has a lot of kind of rib cage feels, uses her torso to load that right-hand side. The arms are very much so a byproduct for her. But that is not a keeper. That's well left and out of the blue.
Seems like it ended at the waist bunker area. In a row.
And Minjee's made 9 in a row, and she's begging for a 10th right now. Down in the desert left, she's going to have to get creative to find a 4.
When you make so many par in a row, it's so important to starting with the birdie. Her momentum has changed so much.
Difficult course to build momentum on.
Minjee Lee for 3rd. Oh, I think she might have chance to make par at this hole.
Wouldn't have thought so after the drive, would you?
Exactly. She had to chip out from the waist bunker area. Line for a long time, and then I found out it's definitely helped to get easier to get right aiming.
Okay. Is it slowing the game down?
I should say yes. That one for sure.
Okay, well that is all looking like it's going to change, because there is going to be a penalty shot introduced, and on the LPGA Tour, when the slow pay policy comes into effect, when the tour heads back to the States, to Arizona, and that will be very interesting to see how that works out. The tour have worked hard on implementing this policy, and they have talked to the players, so they're keeping the players up to speed with what's going to happen. But keep an eye out for that, because what we want as fans of golf ourselves, we just don't want to be watching it all day long. Got to get the pace of play going. It's a cluttered space, isn't it, with all the other sports out there, so trying to keep golf relevant and current.
Minjee Lee for par putt.
For the best par of the day, if this goes in. Oh, shame. Still, given where she was off the tee, a double bogey was even potentially on the cards. She only drops 1. Be an easy bogey to let go of, albeit her par run coming to an end with a dash of black on it. The flag flapping further down. Sometimes there's a little disparity between the two. You land at pin high, it launches. You land it short, it stops. It's not easy to get close.
Always been a good ball striker, Minjee Lee, and there is an example right there from the Australian. It's a top shot from Minjee.
One of the best balls.
So let's see with her golf game today, Alim, after enjoying a share of the lead through round 1 with that lovely 68. What a tee shot from Minjee Lee at 11.
Yes, finally made her first birdie for Minjee Lee. Also, she just bounced back right away after she made a bogey at number 10 as well.
Last one went left down the 10th for Minjee Lee. See if she can straighten it out here.
Well, she didn't like it, but she was able to remain in the... Minjee has the best angle to go to the pin on the left. But she doesn't like it.
Well, it's good for distance, but she knows.
from Minjee's ball is she has to go up first and down to the pin, down to the hole. Ball needs to start right, and it's gonna be pretty sharp turn to the left.
So for Minjee electing to leave the flagstick in, well, this would be helpful, but it's not an easy putt. Oh, come on. You know, for this, she's done this a couple of times today, Minjee. She's left some putts very short.
If you look at the green, actually green
Between the ears. Tenacious. She's within 2 now, courtesy of that putt going in.
Minjee Lee had a long birdie putt, and now it's par putt, about 10-footer.
I think I'm about to phone a friend over this one. Bring Mikey Patterson in.
Mike is really good to read the line when you guys are in Solheim Cup. Not sure about the regular tournament. I always actually give him a bad joke because he was on my back for a long time.
Yeah.
And then every time when he caddied it at the Solheim Cup, somehow his player was the one who made a clutch putt, and that he was able to make a good putt line. But he missed quite a lot of putt line when I asked him to read my line.
You buried him there.
Oh dear, Mikey.
Minjee Lee for par putt.
Back to the golf.
That's Mikey's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone a little ways by as well. She's gone from the bag of Emily Pedersen, like Minjee, an incredible ball striker. Sometimes needs a little bit more confidence on the greens. They both average what feels like about 16 greens a week. So it's little wonder they've both turned to him when generally he's quite good.
He's a good man.
That is brutal. And just like that, the greens bite back.
And out of nowhere. 4 putt.
Should be no problem to get on for 2. We shall see.
Well, for Minjee, it was a very uneventful front 9. 9 straight pars. And on the back 9, it's been a par, a birdie, and a double bogey.
Looking good.
This hole being the Aon Risk Reward Challenge hole, where players will take their best 2 scores over the course of 4 days, and it's the average score to par. It's a season-long points competition where the winner at the end of the season will win $1 million US. All of other feet for Minjee.
Ball came out a little low.
It's a rise to the green on 14, so anything short is never going to jump up. But anything long will be on the pin.
Minjee going to decide a little different shot. Also, her ball is in the upslope, so she is able to make a lot of spin. Easier than Bailey Tardy's lie, for sure.
So where's she going to land this?
She's definitely going to land it on top of the green, and then she's going to spin it a lot. There was a lot of hinge.
But not enough spin. That's not bad, though, from Minjee. Yeah, it's not an easy shot because you can see the rise.
Other players playing on the weekend, and I am not.
Yeah.
Also, they're putting so much energy and effort to get a good result. But if you're not able to get another 2 rounds of opportunity, that's really sad. Minjee Lee for birdie putt. gonna be downhill left to right birdie putt.
Well, that's better from Minjee. And moves to 1 under for the championship. That's a good up and down from a tricky spot at the front of the green on 14 course this afternoon. Here she is on 15.
She decided to hit the 3-wood instead of driver to make sure she is able to keep it at the wide part of the fairway.